This is Henry from God Dethroned, and you're watching Metal Anthology.
Yes, sir, Henry. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, thanks.
That's great. And there's something that I've been cooking quite for some time. There's a new album. It's called the Judas Paradox, and it will be released like in a week on September 6th via Ringing Phoenix Music. Uh, yes, are you excited about that?
I'm very excited about it. It's the first album for a new label, first album
Yeah.
for us, for them, and they are pretty new as well. So yeah, it's exciting times, and I'm looking forward to it very much.
Yes, and I am too, and I just okay. Yeah, and I've been listening to this album for a week now, at least like maybe 5, 6 times. And I have to say, for the diehard God Dethroned fans or any blackened death metal fans, you'll have a treat with this album. I think at first I was listening to the opening track, which is the title track of the album, the Judas Paradox, and I was like, "Oh, it's more mid-tempo," and wasn't worried, but I was like, "Oh, I was hoping for more intensity," and then I got into the next track, Rat Kingdom. I was like, okay, the intensity is is still here. And for the rest of the album, there's a lot of dynamics, there's a lot of furious riffing, a lot of blast beat, a lot of more melodic parts as well. I think it's a perfect blend for a fan of God Dethroned as me, which I'm fan since the Grand Grimoire, so it's been a long time, 1997. So how will you describe this new album that will be released in a week now?
Well, I couldn't do it any better than you just did, but let me give it a try. Yeah, like always, we try to make an album as diverse as possible. We always try to make it different from the one before because we don't want to repeat ourselves. So for the fans, you can definitely hear it's us because it's got all the God Dethroned trademarks, and it's yeah, it's super diverse. We have a couple of fast and aggressive songs. We have some more mid-tempo based melodic ones, and we have a couple of atmospheric songs. So meaning that the people who will check out the album from beginning to end, they will be taken on a trip, through the highs and lows and the aggressive and melodic parts of the album in the right order as we see, how it should be. And yeah, I'm not objective anymore. I've heard it too many times. You've heard it 6 times. I've heard it 666 times. So it's up to the fans to decide if they like it or not.
I think they will like it. If they are already fans, how can you be disappointed by this record? I think you have all the elements of the DNA of the band. And yes, there's a lot of diversity on this album, obviously. And there's no track that I want to skip. And about that first track, I was saying I was a little bit not sure, we're almost worried, but it grew on me with times, and it's just because I wanted it to be intense at first. And you always have expectations from a band for a while, and you but once you're just taking like the new record, like it's like a new band. I'm always trying to take a new record like that. It's a new band, I don't know shit about that band, I will just take what take it for what it is, and then maybe I will be judging a little bit more and make some comparison with the whole stuff. I think we have all the great elements we want, and I have a question about that new signature you did with Ringing Phoenix Music. There's a lot of cool bands that are now on this label. It's a new upcoming label. I was talking to Tuomas Sokonen from um, Wolfheart yesterday, and his album will be released on the same day as yours. wow, what do you think about this new label? Why did you choose them?
Well, first of all, we have been at Metal Blade Records for 25 years. Metal Blade has always treated us very well. Um, so we had no complaints, but it was time to change because at a certain time, at a certain point, you realize that the spark is gone. For us, it's just doing another album for Metal Blade, and for Metal Blade, it was just doing another God Dethroned album. And everybody did their part, and everybody did it okay and very well, blah blah blah. But there was no spark anymore. So we thought, what should happen if we move to a different label? So we had a few options. We chose for what was then called Atomic Fire because it was a new label founded by the former Nuclear Blast owner.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, they merged together with a US label and became Raining Phoenix Music. And the cool part about it is that everybody wants to show off. Everybody wants to show that they can do a good job. So we want to show the label that we can write the best album for them. And the label wants to show us that they can do the best promotion and best distribution possible for us. So there is a spark, the spark that was gone by staying at Metal Blade. That spark is back here. Everybody wants to prove that they can do an awesome job. And that makes it very interesting, and it makes it very pleasant, to work with new people.
Absolutely, I can feel that from your perspective since you've been 25 years with working with collaborating with the same people and to it was like something I was like thinking how do you come up with new ideas, the motivation to still write songs for a band you have been working on for like 33 years, Henry? Got Dethroned
34,
1991.
no, 1990, 34 years.
34 years, man. It's a good chunk of life.
That's a long time. It's more than half my life, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, how do I find the motivation? I guess it's just the love for music. It's the love for death and black metal. It's the love for touring, being on the road, meeting new people, playing live shows. I guess that's the reason why I still want to do it. It's not very easy sometimes because, like I said before, we want to do new things. We don't want to repeat ourselves. So every album should be different from the one before. But that makes it quite a challenge after so many years. This was album number 12 or 13 or something.
Well,
Yeah. So,
I
at a
checked.
certain point, yeah, at a certain point, you think like, okay, what am I going to do this time? So it becomes a bit harder to find original ideas. It becomes harder to find original things to write lyrics about. But again, we managed, which will make the challenge for the new album, for the next album, even bigger. But it doesn't matter. We live now, and now we have a new album, and I think it's a great one.
I think it will be considered like in few years quite high in the discography. I think it's a really strong album. There's no skipper on this album because sometimes listening to an album for promotion, I will skip some song. I'm like, oh no, this one I can get into is just a boring track or filler, and I didn't skip any song on your album for all the listening session I had, and it was always I was listening to the full album to take me on an adventure and how you thought about it when you were recording it and the track listing. It's not just the singles. I like to listen to the full thing.
Yeah, that's how it should be. I mean,
Totally.
the record label decided which songs should be the singles. So on the album, you have the title track as the first song, Red Kingdom as song number 2. But the label said, yeah, for the singles, we want to change that around. We want Red Kingdom to be the first single and the Judas Paradox the second single. Fine by me. I'm not objective anymore after hearing the song so many times, and they are. And they said this is how we see it. So let's do it. And tomorrow we will have the release of the third single, which is The Hanged Man.
The third song.
The third song also, yeah.
Yeah, so the three singles are the first three songs on the album. And
Yeah.
The Hangman is a nice song. I like it. My favorite track, I will say, maybe right now, because it will change with more listening session, but Asmodeus is one of my favorite, and
Yeah.
Hubris Anorexia.
Uh-huh.
That's two
Well,
tracks I really like.
it's very nice to hear that because both of the songs have been written by me. So that's great.
I
You
didn't
know,
know.
I wanted to have Hubris Anorexia as a first single, to be honest.
Yes, me too.
But the
But
record
Rat
label
Kingdom
said,
is very good too.
yeah, I wanted it, but the record label said, no, we want Red Kingdom. So I said, okay, you shall have it your way. But if I could choose, it would have been Hubris Anorexia. That would have been the first single. I think that song is so strong. It's so compact. Everything's in it.
Yeah.
The song is just like 3.5 minutes only, and it's got everything. It's got even like this in the middle part, where there's this atmospheric thing with the keyboards,
Yeah.
and then there's big guitar solos. It's the only song on the album where you have a guitar solo from Dave, followed by a guitar solo from me, and all the aggression and all the melody, everything's in that song in 3.5 minutes, and it's like it sounds complete. It doesn't sound like a rushed song or a filler. It sounds like a full song. Everything's in there in just 3.5 minutes. I think it's awesome.
There's a lot of stuff packed in that song, and I think it contains some of the most memorable melodies that you have on the album, and the solos fit so well with the rest of the song. And
Yeah,
yes, that's why I liked it. And I don't know why the label didn't want that song, because just because of the song title, I think it's attractive on a metal perspective, like hubris and anorexia. Oh, it's like I want to hear that.
yeah. Well, same. Yeah, same for me.
That's
I
my
thought of
take.
yeah. I thought the same. But I thought, okay, I'm not objective anymore. The label had a certain view. They thought that Red Kingdom, because the way it starts with all the melodies and then the building up and then the blast beat, they thought it would be the best song to start with. And yeah, it's fine by me. You know,
Yeah,
it's they can decide that. They are in charge. So
I have to say it's one of my best song, also at least top five on the album Rat Kingdom. And like you said, it starts really strong, really fast, and that's what you want as a first single from my perspective. But when you listen to the album, I didn't listen to Rat Kingdom before listening to the whole album, so I didn't know it will hit me hard like that on the second song. I was just
yeah,
listening to the first song. The first song is just it's more mid-tempo. It takes you in the mood, more atmospheric, maybe, like you said. Um, it's a bold choice as a first song, but it built the climax for the album, I think. Once you're really getting into the album for more than one listening session, and it makes sense with time. But at first, I was like, oh, okay, maybe they are slowing down a little bit.
yeah. This was
Nope,
that song.
nope.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it, man. Yeah, no, and Asmodeus, as you say, that was a single in 2022 already. It was actually our gift from us to Raining Phoenix Music for the fact that they signed us. So we gave them a single, and
I missed
uh, and
that.
it was we re-recorded the song for the album because we love that song so much. We always play it live, so we decided to record it again and to add it to the album as well.
I have to say I didn't know about that, and I have to be transparent with you. I didn't follow the band lately. I had the first period as a teenager. I was listening to the Grand Grimoire and after Bloody Blasphemy. Those records were important to me, and then I stopped like maybe in 2003 to listen to God Dethroned like really regularly. And then the Toxic Touch. I remember that album like came out like in 2006, and it was a really more mellow melodic album, maybe your most melodic album to date, less intense, less like there's not a lot of brutality in that album, but it was so melodic, and I was liking it a lot. So I got back into Got Dethroned and starting listening to the old stuff again. And then for no specific reasons, I lost not interest, just there's so many bands. So sometimes you just forget about a band for some time. You just listen to the tracks that grabbed you so much at first, and you don't listen to the new stuff. And you were on a I don't know, it's a hiatus, or you stopped the band for a few years,
Yeah.
like between 2010s and the output in 2017, something like that.
Yeah, a little bit short. I stopped the band in 2012, and I got the band back together in 2015.
Okay.
I just needed some time for myself, so I took a 3 year break. And at that time, I didn't know if it would be a break or just a real breakup. The thing is, if you put the band on a temporary break, people will still bug you with when are you coming back? When is a new album coming? When are you going back on tour? And I didn't want that anymore. So I said, I'm going to quit the band completely, and then I will have my peace. And then at a certain point, I realized it was the most stupid thing that I ever did in my life. So I had to get the band back together. But then at least I had a few years of peace and quiet, you know. Otherwise, people would always bug me when we would do a new album and stuff like that. So, that was a decision. And I guess, the things you just explained, it says a lot. I think you need a very good album for people to keep your attention, or to keep the attention of the people, I should say. And because there is so many releases, it's unbelievable how many albums are being put out every day nowadays. So I guess perhaps with this album we will get the attention back from a lot of people because the album is good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will stand out from a lot of other releases because there's so many good musicians right now, and there's a lot of good albums. There's not a lot of excellent album. That's the little difference. There's a lot of stuff that is good, but that is also forgettable, quickly forgettable. And
Yeah.
albums that will, I just looked at my list of my top 25 of last year and 2022. And there's a lot of albums in there at the bottom of the list that I have not touched since then. And I'm like, they were good albums at the time, but I'm not listening to them anymore because there's so much more quality in other releases from back in the days, and our new bands, upcoming bands that are more interesting. It doesn't mean it's not good, but you have to release a really excellent album, something that stands out for people to keep listening and keep their interest in the band for a long period of time. It's difficult.
Yeah, it's just like you say. The competition is killing nowadays. There's too many bands with too many great albums. So yeah, you need something extraordinary to stand out from the rest. And of course, everybody's trying that, but it's the fans in the end who decide who they want to listen to.
Yeah. Absolutely. And talking about fans, I talked about the Grand Grimoire and Bloody Blasphemy. I know you did a re-release of those albums on vinyl in 2013. There was some liner notes. I don't own any vinyl. Sorry, guys. I'm not a vinyl person. I don't want to get up to switch that thing to the other vinyl. Uh, I like my music in there or on my stereo. And yes, where I'm heading with that, is there any like special side stories that you want to say, maybe that come to mind reflecting on those very important albums for these in the history of the band?
Well, I guess when you start out as a young band, you don't know where things will go. And we were so lucky that we got an offer from Metal Blade really in the beginning.
Yes.
And they have always been a very strong label, so they put out the Grand Grimoire as the first album on their label, and they put us on tour with the biggest bands on the planet. With Cannibal Corpse, Immortal, Morbid Angel, Obituary, you name it, and we've toured with them. And
Have you ever toured with Dissection?
no, no, I think I don't know. I don't remember when he went to prison, but
I think it's in 1997, the year that the Grand Grimoire.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was
So
almost 10 years in prison, convicted. So
yeah, so no, we didn't tour with them. It was that they were gone a little bit too early for us to be able to tour with them. It would have been great, but
yeah.
that never happened.
I was asking because I discovered both band at this almost at the same time, like a week between. I was listening to Storm of the Lightbanes in a party with some friend that like and me his headphones. And you gotta listen to that. And like a week later, the same guy was like bringing me the Grand Grimoire. And well, holy shit, man! So both band became like favorites of mine.
Oh yeah, great, awesome.
Yeah. So that was a great start of and Bloody Blasphemy is also such a great record. Maybe it's I think maybe it's my favorite of in all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for many people, Bloody Blasphemy is like what Raining Blood is to Slayer. Everybody refers to Bloody Blasphemy in our case. And we always play some songs live, from that album. So we will do that too on the upcoming tour. We will also play some Bloody Blasphemy. It's great to have a milestone in your career. It's great to know which one was your breakthrough album, and Bloody Blasphemy was our breakthrough album back in the day. So it's something people will always remind you of, and yeah, it's great. It's awesome, and I guess we owe everything to that album after since then. So yeah, it's great.
Well, I guess those songs are really fun to play live. It's intense, it's melodic, a lot of energy.
Yeah, some of the songs are really awesome to play, and some of the songs are not that great to play live. But I think you've got songs like that on every album, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to play everything live. There's also songs that people can just listen to on an album or on Spotify or whatever, and you play the best songs live, and the rest you leave for the albums. That's fine.
Totally. And on the next tour, will you bring some deep cuts that we never heard live, for example?
Now on the new tour, we will focus on the new album. Like 50% of the set will be the new album.
How many
Probably,
new songs will be played live?
I think 5 at least.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think the album deserves it. I mean, I saw Judas Priest live a couple of months ago, and I expected them to play quite a few songs from the new album, and they played only 2. And which was a pity to me, because of course I like to hear all the old stuff, but I
Which one
also
they played? Panic Attack, I guess, and Trial by Fire?
yeah, I think so, yeah. And
There's so many good songs on that record.
the new record is so good. If they could have played easily like 5 or 6 songs, and it would have been totally fine, and they could
Totally.
still have played all the old songs. But they did only 2, and that was it. And then they went back to all the old songs, and of course they are great. But it doesn't matter. You can also promote your new album, especially for Judas Priest, because the album is so bloody strong.
They can
You
play
know?
the full thing. They can play the full thing, and I'll be there. And
Yeah,
even with the bonus track, they are good too. And
yeah. But so we will play like 5 songs from the new album. We will also play some Illuminati stuff because we couldn't promote
the
that
last
album.
one.
Yeah, the Illuminati, the last one came out like a month before COVID ruined everything on planet Earth. So we did only one European tour to promote Illuminati. So we still want to promote songs from that album. So, and then we will play some Bloody Blasphemy stuff. And then there's not a lot of time left to play a lot more. So the surprises will be in the newer stuff. And yeah, there will always be people who only want to hear old songs. But hey, we also want to promote our new album. Otherwise, what's the point of making a new album?
Yeah, that's a legit point. And when you know the album is strong, just play it.
Yeah.
And will you play Hubris Anorexia?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Ah, yes, that's nice. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Uh, talking about touring, what will be your dream tour? Like you can name any four active band that you would like to pack into the best tour possible for just your own takes.
Oh, for my own taste, it's easy. I just want to go on tour with Iron Maiden because they're my ultimate live band.
You can
If
choose them.
if we could open up for Iron Maiden, I could see them every day. It would be the best time of my life.
I'm pretty sure. And three other bands.
Um, well, you know, if I should choose bands who are more in
You
our
can mix
style,
styles. You can mix style. You know, we don't give a fuck about that. It can be an eclectic lineup.
oh, you know, Behemoth would be great, but also I'm a big fan of David Gilmour. But I guess that would be the weirdest tour ever. To have
Oh,
David
yeah.
Gilmour from Pink Floyd playing his show, and then us, and then Behemoth and stuff like that. Iron Maiden. Uh,
I'd go.
but
Absolutely.
but that's the bands that I really like. So yeah.
So when we talk about maybe the musician that has been that you are looking up to, that are the best musician in your eyes, like old one and more new ones, you will say David Gilmour for sure, guys of Iron Maiden, Dave Murray maybe, and Adrian Smith.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, those are my favorite guitar players. Um, and when you listen to our new album, our guy Dave is also really good. And well, you've heard the album, you know, a song like "The Hangman," which will be out tomorrow. The guitar solos in that are like a death metal version of Iron Maiden.
Totally.
You know, it's super melodic, it's super fast. It's almost like Dave Murray was playing a guitar solo on our song. That's how good it is.
Yeah, I think one of the first blend between like Iron Maiden and death metal was done by the Gothenburg scene with Dark Tranquillity and Flames, At the Gates. Were you a fan of those bands back in the days, and uh, have you been inspired by them to? Because there's some reminiscence between God Dethroned and those bands.
Oh yeah, definitely. They were a huge influence on us. So not only bands like The Section, but also bands like Dark Tranquillity, At the Gates. They were a huge influence on our sound back then. The Gothenburg sound, as it was called, was raw and extreme, but also very melodic and great guitar solos. And it was a big inspiration. So I guess a lot of the things you hear on the Grand Grimoire have been inspired by those bands.
Yeah, I think so. I I heard that, but I had to ask.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it can be just a coincidence. You have some artists, are you inspired by that band because your band sounds a lot like them and I don't even know the band. It can happen sometimes.
It can happen, yeah. But in this case, you were very right.
That's cool. Uh, so what the future holds in the next maybe 2 3 years for God Dethrone? What's the plan? What do you want to accomplish with the band you maybe didn't had the chance to do until now?
Well, the things we want to do for sure is, well, we start off with a European tour with Batushka and Ultimas. Early next year, we will go to the United States again and Canada. And then we
Yes.
then the plan is to go Latin America. But where we haven't toured yet is Australia and New Zealand. So we really hope to go to Australia and New Zealand next year,
Oh,
and then
wow.
come back that with Japan, China, Singapore, Malaysia, countries like that.
Oh, really extended touring. That's
That would
so
be,
nice.
yeah, that would be great. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. And then, of course, there will be another European tour and another US tour. So then, once we're in the cycle again, everything should be fine. But right now, we're working on it, and it looks pretty good. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure we will come back to the US and Canada like somewhere March, April next year.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm in Quebec City, and I hope you will stop because there's a lot of tour that are just stopping in Montreal and not Quebec, but there's a lot of tour that are coming to our city, and it's a big metal city. People like metal here as fuck, so I hope
Yeah,
to
we
see.
played we played Quebec City once a couple of years ago. It was awesome. It was totally awesome, and hopefully we can come back next year.
I hope so. I'll be there, but I'll be in Montreal anyway if you can come to Quebec City because of sometimes it's not that you don't want, it's just the booking agent or something, or the deal is just not good. So,
Yeah, we will see.
as a conclusion, what would you want to say to any blackened death metal fan and all the fan base of God Dethroned?
Well, thanks for supporting us for all those years. Thank you that you're still there, and check out the new album because if you like the old stuff, you will definitely like the new stuff as well.
And I
And hope
can
to see you on
concur to
tour.
that.
Yeah,
Thank you, Henry. It was such a pleasure to finally talk to you, and hope to see you in North America soon. I wish you the best success with this new adventure with Ringing Phoenix Music. And yeah, the Judas Paradox will be out on September 6th. So, guys, just go listen to that album. It's a fucking banger. Cheers, Henry.
right on. Cheers.
Bye.